Right. So yeah, just follow me. Just dump him out the back here. I'll get my boys to take care of it for you. And he shows you where he wants the body disposed or deposited. He says, I suppose we're on first name basis now. I'm Tradamill. You know, if you ever encounter similar sorts of problems to this, just know, you know, if the price is right, I can make all number of things disappear.
So it's Tradamill Amberfellow?
Tradamill Amberfellow.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Zane.
Zane. Okay. All right. Well, it's good to meet you, Zane. And the rest of you.
Jimmy.
All right. Well, I think good on you, Jimmy. I think you've all got drinks waiting for you back in the bar, so you better go off and dispose of those.
Okay, we do that.
One quick thing before we head off.
Yep.
It's a long shot, but you haven't happened to have any dealings with a dwarf who looks like me but older. Might have changed his name, but he goes by... Let me just find it again, sorry. He did go by Jorgrick. Jorgrick Iron Fist, but I don't know if happen to have any dealings with a man like that.
Friend, I think you credit me with paying closer attention to my clientele than is my usual habit. You guys stand out a bit. It's got to be said. It's not everybody who drags in unconscious bodies into my premises. But no, I'm sorry. There are a lot of dwarves in the world, and most of them are filthy, and I don't necessarily get to make out their physical characteristics.
Nah, that's fine, mate.
Well, I should. That sounded worse than I meant it. Not all dwarves.
No, it's all good.
Not all dwarves are filthy. It's just the dwarves who come in here that are filthy.
Well, I mean, I don't think I can deny that.
There's a temple of Moradin up near the port, and a lot of dwarves live up in that part of the city. So you might try your luck up there.
If we head that way, I might ask around, but I knew it was a long shot anyway, but thanks for answering so honestly. Thank you.
No problem. I am anything if I am not honest.
If I am anything, if I am not honest.
Isn't it meant to be nothing?
I'm anything if I'm not honest. Yeah. Is there a problem with that? That's how that phrase goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe in this city.
Okay. You go back in and have your drinks, I take it, and the evening passes.
Before it does,
yes.
Were you discussing any game plan? What are we doing tomorrow?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Are we going to get dressed fancy, or are we just going to go Mission... We're going to go Bond or Mission Impossible? Is what I'm not sure about yet. What does everyone want to do?
Really? I want to keep having fights.
Well, yeah, me too. I just don't want to die. There's a sense of self-preservation in this game for some reason, this particular campaign.
For some reason, who can tell why?
I mean...
Paranoia.
I mean, we stand out a bit as a troop of 4. we're a bit, covered in weapons and armor and things like that. So if we go snooping around
Certainly, you are in a place like Gavel and in the wealthy section of the city, but there are people, mercenaries and guards and so forth in that part of the city as well. So it's not as if you're completely out of place there. You are more out of place there than you are here and elsewhere in the city. There are many people who carry weapons in the world because the world is a dangerous place and people die. So I wouldn't overstate the degree to which you stand out.
Okay.
You've come to this particular tavern owner's attention because of certain things, and
we did something very unusual.
You stood out in another part of the city for particular reasons, but generally walking around the street, you are 4 people in a very big city, and to a large extent, you are no smellier, uglier, or more threatening than many, many other people.
Makes sense. Fair enough.
All that being said, you probably would stand out trying to get into the Paragath embassy. For example. So I believe David was asking if you wanted to formulate a plan for the following day.
I want to get some spell slots back, so a long rest would be handy.
Yep, it's like a sleep and then I was going to go shopping.
We don't have a plan for the embassy, do we?
Not yet. We don't.
We need a plan for the embassy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't spent that much time looking around it, have we? Like, we spent a little bit of time staking it out, I guess. We haven't tried to look for any ways in, or...
Do we have? Do we all have stealth?
A certain amount of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah. Okay, so we're actually a stealthy group. We have lots of sleight of hand amongst the party, thieves' tools. We're kind of a go by the night kind of group. We all have dark vision, don't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, shall we do a recce around the place tomorrow, and then do something tomorrow night and see if we can get into the place or something like that? What are we looking for in there?
Looking for the Tabaxi, right? The Tabaxi visited this embassy, so we're looking for where he went.
And he hasn't. And as far as we know, he hasn't come out again.
As far as we know.
So we want to find this Tabaxi.
What was that? Sorry.
We want to find this guy.
Yeah. We want to find what he stole from us, and maybe find out who's carrying it to.
I mean, we could just walk up to whatever gate or door or whatever their outer guarded perimeter is, and ask if they've got anyone non-orc in there or whatever. They seem to be pretty exclusive, so
Well, we know his name. We could ask by
Yeah.
name.
that's true. Never know what we might get from just straight up asking him. Or asking for him. I mean, obviously, chances are that won't yield anything, but you never know. Might save us time and effort if we if they are okay with us being a bit upfront.
So ask the guards
Yeah,
at the front.
if we can meet with Narcovel. Or if we can set a meeting up
Okay,
with
we'll
him.
try
Or,
that the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have a backup in case, but doesn't hurt to try the most direct path first.
What is a Tublexi, by the way?
Like a cat person.
All right. Okay. So one of those going in and out of here would be pretty obvious.
Yeah, pretty obvious. There are tabaxi around, and every once in a while you will see one in the city, but they're not common. So
Yeah. Okay.
So are you spending the night? What, or do you want to have some more time to talk about it?
How about we do that? How about we spend the night? We'll ask the guards. If that falls through, I can have another crack at Ghost Shatterer, and if that falls through, we just black skivvies. Grappling hook.
Okay, we spend the night.
What are you doing, mate?
All right, and the following morning, it's raining quite heavily in Malith, and there's a thunderstorm in the city. Lightning crashes periodically, and when you sort of turn up downstairs for breakfast, it's pretty quiet, and people are relatively sedate by comparison to all the other times that you've been in the common areas of the tavern. And Amber Fellow gives you a nod as he sort of wipes the bench down, and a waitress brings you breakfast over. And as you're sort of eating, an older woman in sort of vestments approaches your table and nods at you and says, Master Amberfellow tells me that you are the people I seek. My Lord Baron Harm wishes you well and begs me to give you this. And she hands over a piece of paper sealed with sealing wax. And she sort of puts her hand out. She puts her hand out like this.
Like what? Like that? Okay.
Like that. Yeah.
Like that.
The universal gesture for
chewing gum.
Put money.
I need
in my hand.
I need a palm reading. Can you tell my future?
Yes. Yeah.
You have a strong lifeline.
Okay. You see hanging outside her vestments, you see a pendant, and You recognise who's got the religion proficiency.
I do. Zane does.
You recognise the circle with 6 outwardly radiating points, which you recognise as being the symbol of Pelor, the god of the sun and agriculture.
Fair enough.
Who you know
Okay,
to
we
be
will
a
have-
god followed by the humble folk of the farming community and all of those who prefer daylight over night.
Not our company from last night. Okay, we'll give that a read.
You give that a read.
Yeah, we'll read it.
It says, Jimmy and friends, I regret
Ah.
to inform you that that the creature you captured escaped my guards before I could present him to Duke Jassar. As a result, you are now the sole holders of knowledge related to the death of Duke Uniroth. While I have sent a missive to the Duke concerning my capture, I fear he needs you to present your findings in person to the King's representative, who now awaits you at Castle Jassar. The King's troops are intent on taking the Duke prisoner for trial. Please hurry. Baron Harm.
I think we need to go.
I think.
We're,
I think.
doesn't the king live here?
Different
The King does leave here. No, it's the
Oh,
same
sorry
King.
about that. So is it here that we need to go and present our case?
No,
No,
it's
just
Jassar.
Sorry, I confused myself.
Well, it seems things of a royal nature are probably a bit more urgent. Although,
All right.
if we leave
okay.
this thing here, then we might lose track of any trail that has yet to be cold.
Right.
But,
Ray, I noticed on your city map there's an airship, Port Cloud.
Ah, you noticed that, did you?
Is that a fast way of getting between places?
I don't know, Jeff. Is it?
Well, how did our priest get here? The woman who just gave us that note.
The woman who's standing with her hand out yet to be crossed with gold.
Yeah.
Hmm.
While she's
Well, I
waiting,
don't
she'll
know.
she'll answer questions.
Sure.
How did you get here?
By horse.
Ah, okay. So how long were you traveling for?
Well, I was brought here at great pace. We had to change horses. I haven't stopped really. So I left only a day after you did. A couple of days after you left.
Right. Okay. Do you?
I tried to catch up with you before this, but sadly, weather got in the way, and as you know, it's a long journey.
Okay, guys, what do we want to do? I've got the feeling that we're being pushed back onto the real path of the adventure here.
Yeah, I think we need to sort that out. Even if we want to progress, we can't do it at the cost of where we've come from, I feel. Otherwise, the path shrinks away from our feet and we fall into another railway trap. A fun house, if you will.
well, a few of my jobs and things like that have come across certain nobles, and it seems to be best not to keep the nobility and all of the the barons and kings and dukes and whatever they want to call themselves. Best not to keep
Don't
them
want them
waiting.
to get their underpants in a twist.
Exactly. Because unfortunately, they have a lot of men and gold and weapons and dungeons and chains, and I'd rather be on the open side of free.
Okay, we give this woman a gold piece and say thank you.
You're welcome, she says,
Rayley,
and
do you have
goes off.
Do you have the text?
She goes
of
off
the
to
letter?
Amberfellow and orders. Do I have the text of the letter? I do have the text of the letter.
Does can I ask Amberfellow if he has any spare ink and parchment?
Did last time I tell you to make a deduction for stabling costs and things like that for your horses?
I don't remember, so I'm happy to say no.
I was to say, I remember us asking about it, but I don't remember if.
Let's say no. I think maybe we're going to settle up when we were going to leave. That would make sense.
Okay, all right. Well, you're not leaving yet, so I'll make that happen when you do. Did that come through, Jeff, adequately for you in the campaign?
Where is it? In
Metzu Campaign?
Metzu Campaign. All right, I got it. Yep, it's in black, but
it's in black, which is inconvenient.
When
you click on it, it's in black on black.
Yeah, hit the link. Hit the link that says Open Original. Then it opens up in a browser and it's black on white.
All right. Okay.
All right,
but it's all text. It's not. That's an image, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a PNG.
Okay. I can't highlight it and put it into my continuing document here.
You can right click and copy the image if that helps.
Yeah.
I can type it up real quick for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what is next?
So if I can get some parchment and ink, I just want to write a quick letter, a quick note.
So we can reply to the Duke, reply to the Baron. I have parchment and ink.
I'm writing a letter to Vim, Ghost Shatterer.
He's writing a love letter.
Oh.
I'm continuing to keep that poker right in the fireplace.
That's a really bad analogy.
Get your head out of the gutter. Jeez.
First of all, you think that's a poker in a fireplace?
I know what the phrase is. I'm stoking I'm keeping the. I don't know. You saw me flirt. This is how I talk.
The ice-cold Arctic winds will stay strong then.
All right. So you write a letter to Vim. And what does that letter say?
Just going to be a short note. Something along the lines of, it seems unfortunate that circumstances pull me back out of town, but I did enjoy our chat and would look forward to a chat sometime in the future.
Okay. All right. And how are you addressing it, and where is it going, and all those sorts of things?
So if Albert and Gavel's on the way, then I'll drop it off with the proprietor. Otherwise, I will seek out the first messenger I can find. Because I haven't written anything above room temperature in there. It just literally says, I enjoyed our chat. Look forward to our next one. But it won't be for a while.
Right.
At this point, it's a business letter almost. Just leaving my business card kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'll leave a gold piece with whoever I leave it with. So if it's the messenger, it'll be a silver piece and a gold piece, I guess. if there needs to be any payment to the host. Otherwise, just directly to the host would be a gold piece.
All right. You do that, and Amberfellow says, "Yeah, I'll get one of the wait staff to take it over to the Paragarth embassy."
Perfect. So a silver and a gold then.
Yep, great.
Okay. I write a letter for our our the woman who gave us the letter.
Oh, yeah.
I write a letter for Baron Palm to say that we're immediately taking action and
Well,
heading to Jassar.
Castle Harm is on the way to Jassar, so you'll probably get there before any letter does.
Okay. All right then.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I'll tell the woman that we're going to go immediately.
Okay. She says, "Well, I don't know what was in the letter, so good. Thank you. I guess."
Yep.
Pelor, guide your path.
And that too.
All right. So, with all of that, does that mean you head away?
We're going to the airship.
Oh, okay. You're
And I
going
take it we're going
to Port Cloud.
Port Cloud.
Oh, must we?
So, you've got your horses in stables. You're just leaving them there.
Can they come with us?
Who can tell, Jeff?
You want to put a horse several however high in the air and hope they'll be okay?
To be fair, it's the same as putting horses in like below decks on a ship, right? You get that buoyant feeling, right?
I'd rather be below deck than up in the air.
Well, let's see. Maybe they know how to transport horses. Maybe they don't. We will ask.
So you're heading to Port Cloud?
Yes.
Okay. As you approach Port Cloud from a little distance away, you can hear the works of metal against metal and general. The sounds that you more commonly associate with smithies and so forth. And Port Cloud is actually a largish warehouse type building with a number of chimneys with smoke coming out, and the tower is a wooden construction and is little more than a very tall scaffold kind of arrangement. Very similar to the tower that you saw being built outside Port Draz many weeks ago now.
Right.
Yet this one is complete, and at the very top of it there is a gangplank that you might otherwise see on a ship that sort of sticks out into thin air, and a bit of a staging area seems to be at the top of it. A largish platform, covered platform. And as you enter the large sort of stable door-sized doors at the front of the building, you see the sign Port Cloud Sky Vessel Manufacture and Operations, Uphibi Egnadem and then you see a collection of letters that appear to be initials of some sort afterwards, but which make no sense to you. And then you walk into the building, and there appear to be all sorts of things under construction, which look vaguely like ships, like boats and so forth, but which are not obviously made for water. In the center of it all, a gnome, a woman gnome, sort of stands on a landing. There's some stairs leading up to a kind of platform in the middle of the workshop, and on it there's sort of drafts tables and lamps and so forth. And every once in a while, she sort of walks around the platform, overseeing things. She yells. Some people come up and have conversations with her, and there's a kind of megaphone contraption hooked up there, which is just in a sort of static position. And she sort of walks up, and it's pointed in the opposite direction, so you can't really make out what she says, but she seems to sort of bark orders through this megaphone at the floor of the workshop.
Is there anything that resembles a ticket office or a custom service, or is this woman barking orders?
No, she seems to
it?
be the woman in charge. Seems to be the only thing you can see is by way of official, but there are people bustling around, and you carrying various bits of materials of different kinds past you, and but there's no ticket office.
Right. Any clues about how we get one of these things to Jessar? We ask someone.
Who do you ask?
The woman with the megaphone.
All right.
That's all on you,
So you
Jimmy.
walk up. What's that?
Jimmy can do that one alone. She scares me.
So you walk up to the platform, and as you climb the stairs, and she sort of looks at you and says, "Yes, what?
Can we get an airship to Jessar?"
Ah, well, I wish I could say yes, but sadly, the airships aren't working right now.
When will they start working?
She looks at you somewhat sheepishly and says, "Oh, soon. I'm sure it will be soon."
Have you gone to Jessar yet in an airship?
Jessar, as yet, no.
Well, it doesn't look like we can take the horses with us at the least.
Yeah, well, yeah. My investors are very keen for us to be having airship services to Port Draz very soon, and once we have them on their way to Port Draz, of course, then we'll be able to stop at Jessar.
Okay, fastest horses out of here, guys. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, please.
Yep, sounds like
All right. Okay, we turn around out of there
and go get your horses.
We go back to our pub. Yep. Close up there. Thank you very much, Mr. Body Disposal Man. Get our horses and leave town.
All right. So, in which case, what will we say for your horses?
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave, Narcissus is very happily going to cling onto her horse because she hates heights.
So it'll be 6 gold pieces, 8 gold pieces altogether.
I think Zane's carrying all the money, so we'll have to wait till he gets back for
Okay.
settling payment.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay. It was 8 gold pieces
For the stabling,
for the stabling,
Alright.
yes.
I'll drop that on the party loot.
All right. All right, and you hop on your horses and leave. The trip takes quite a long time, as you know, and it passes almost entirely uneventfully. Almost entirely. Would you like to put yourselves in whatever your marching order is?
Take the lead, I suppose.
Are we going left to right?
I'll show you. Hang on a second. Oh, don't want that. That is the road. You're heading south, so let's say that going forwards is towards the bottom of the page.
Let's get a bit closer together.
Let's say that because you're on horseback, you can be no closer than, you have to have a 5-foot square between you. Yep.
Okay.
At least. All right. You are riding along when you are taken by surprise as
Oh.
You're taken by surprise as a creature which stands about 6 foot tall, which has a kind of vaguely doggish looking head, and 4 large, wild, doggish looking creatures leap out from the forest through which you are riding to attack. And oops, that's not what I want. Just ignore that little line there. These ones leap up here. These 2 leap out here. And this guy jumps out there as well. Roll for initiative.
Curse you, proficiency bonuses.
I mean, first is always good. Well, can be good.
Okay. Oh, I rolled a natural 20. Gnolls.
Silent G. Noel.
Oh, whoops, that's wrong. Who's not on there and why?
There's 4 of us on there.
David's not on there, and neither is Jimmy.
I rolled a 9.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
didn't come up because
Oh,
you
I
didn't
see.
select your...
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I got a 23.
Got that.
How do I make it work?
David, I'm not going to take that roll from you. You click on your token, and
Yeah.
then it should, when you roll initiative, it should automatically enter it. So this one is 13, and Jimmy is 23.
I changed mine to what it was meant to be. You can click on the turn order and edit your... Yeah.
Oh, yours is 9, sorry. Okay, yes, you can click on
Mine
it.
was my first proper roll, my right roll.
All right, so Jimmy goes first.
Do you want to come out with me this afternoon?
All right, Jimmy. Jimmy, what do you do?
Cast Bless.
Okay,
So everyone gets an extra D4 when you want for attacks or saves.
okay. That's it?
Yep. Oh, and
Okay,
my
Nereus
bird
is-
flies. My bird flies 30 feet into the air.
Okay, Nereus, what are you going to do?
Does getting off the horse count as like a...
It's movement. But, you know, you can move 30 feet.
Okay, well, I am going to move... No, I'm going to stay where... And the one that's above Zane, like the closest one to me,
Yes,
I am going to throw my dagger at it.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
I don't know what to do with that.
Hang on a second. Just a sec. Yes, that's a hit. Do damage. So just click on the word dagger in that result. There you go.
And I'll end my
All
turn.
right. That's your turn. The baddies have their turn. So, first of all, let's deal with the doggy creatures. And the two that are attacking Zane. One misses. The other, your armor class is 17, right?
Right.
And Barak, what's your armor class?
13.
One hits you. They both hit you with their bites. Take 4 points of damage. And Zane, the knoll. Swings a glaive at you twice, Zane.
Okay.
Hits the first time.
Uncanny dodge.
Hits the second time.
Damn it. I don't know how. Does uncanny dodge only work for one creature or for one hit?
I don't know.
I'll have a quick look.
One attack to halve the attack, to halve the damage.
If the 2 hits was one attack, then I guess we'd do both hits. But if it was 2 separate attacks, because it can do.
When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, it's 2 attacks. So an attack is the first attack, does half damage. Take a total of 13 points of damage. And it seems to urge on the dog creature near to you, Zane. Urge it on to greater efforts, and it uses its reaction to attack you again. And hits with its bite. And does 8 points of damage. Zane, it is now your attack,
Cool.
or your turn.
Yep.
Just quickly, sorry. That 4 damage was the full damage that I took, not halved or anything. Because I haven't
Had
raged
you
yet,
had time?
so I was
No,
just
you
making
haven't. So yes.
that was
Yep.
full damage. Alright, cool. Just making sure I got it right.
Yep. Zane, what do you do?
So with my attack, I'm going to target this one. This one here, the furthest one away that's engaged with Barak.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot with my crossbow with sneak attack.
Okay.
11.
That's a hit.
Uh, 23 damage.
It is dead.
Hey.
Bonus action, disengage, and I will move. Sorry, my scale's going on.
You can just point and drag, click, drag your token up there.
I'll move to there.
Okay.
That's me done.
Barak, go.
Barak will climb down off the horse and pop a mushroom and go into a frenzied rage, and we'll move around to there. Actually, no, I'll move to there instead. And he will attack that one there. Or his fist. 22 to hit.
That's a hit.
9 damage. And that's him done for the turn. Rage. Cool.
Dead.
Oh.
Jimmy.
Whoa, 46. It's getting better and better.
How did that happen?
23 plus 23 is 46. So somehow it's put in there twice. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to cast a Frostbite, which is a DC save of 15 against the one that is closest to me.
Okay. And do what you must do.
Okay. 6 points of damage. And disadvantage if...
It dies.
Whoa!
Narissus? Are you doing anything more, Jimmy?
No, that's it.
Narissus?
Okay, I'm going to move.
Oh no! Hang on! Wait! Can I?
Okay.
Chess moves.
Okay, all right, no problems. I'll wait.
What?
I'll
Am
wait.
I okay?
You're quite right.
No,
You're
well,
quite right. I should wait.
Okay. Narissus,
I'm
what are
going
you
to
going to
cast.
do?
Okay.
I'm going to move to here. And on the surviving little guy, the blue, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
Oh, that's a rough roll.
All right. The question I have is...
They only need to hear it, they don't need to understand it.
That's exactly my question.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Yes, you do 1 point of damage to that.
That also gives it disadvantage on its next attack, doesn't it? As well.
Probably does.
Yes, disadvantage on the next attack. And then,
Right.
as bonus, I will cast Healing Word on Zane.
Healing Word on Zane.
Thank you.
That's what I was going to do.
I got beat right up.
Right.
Cast as a high level.
These guys come forward to attack. The hyena says nothing much except rom nom 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 on Barak for 1 point of damage. The other guy says, taste my glaive.
How
Your
on
armor class was 13, wasn't it?
Yes, 13.
13, yes. Hits twice. For a total of 20 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
And incites his
Whoa.
hyena colleague onto greater heights of effort
Is that
successfully. And
20
the hyena
halved?
uses it. It's not, it's 10.
Yep.
And the hyena goes nom 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 for another 1 point of damage.
Excellent.
Zane.
Zane will move to here. For 25 feet, and then we'll shoot sneak attack on the non-hyena, the one with the glaive. With the
Okay.
bow.
Shoot.
And are we still blessed, Jimmy?
Yes, we're still blessed.
So 17 plus a d4. Do I need it? I don't need to roll a d4,
Hits.
do I? Okay.
17 hits. Seven points of damage.
Plus 14. 21 in total.
21. Okay.
And bonus action dash, I will go back. Here.
No, you go. Oh, okay.
No?
I was going to say surround the bastard, but
I'm surrounding him from a distance. Because I got beat real bad and it put the fear of Pelor in me.
Barak.
He's still going to just punch. Doesn't feel the need to draw a sword yet.
Okay.
He's punching the blue one.
Hits. Yes.
For 8 damage.
8 is enough.
And then, as a bonus action, he will punch at the last remaining one, I guess.
That's a hit.
Excellent. For 10 damage.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Jimmy does it again.
does it again. I could have been 69 by this point if you had let me go.
You could well have. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Is anyone damaged?
I'm pretty badly hurt, but don't worry about me.
Nah, I'm a little hurt.
Barak? Okay.
I'm okay though.
I'm going to cast a frostbite on the last remaining one. So that's a saving throw of 15.
Do your thing.
And oh, 2 points of damage and disadvantage on all rolls. So on saves and attacks.
Okay.
Okay,
Neresis,
and
is that it? Sorry.
with my bonus, I'm casting a healing word on Barak.
Okay.
Excellent.
So what is that's a D4, isn't it?
Yep.
6 points.
I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Neresis.
I'm just going to repeat what I did last time and cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay.
And then
Anything else?
bonus action heal Zane.
Okay, do that. Roll.
Nice.
And that's me done.
That's 6 healing.
Yep.
Yes, 6 for you. The Knoll laughs and says something in a language you can't understand, and swings at Barak. Misses the first time. Hits the second time. Takes 6 points of damage.
Is that pre or post half?
Post. Zane.
I
There
will
you go.
move to here, and I will shoot sneak attack. Shoot with sneak attack.
Okay.
$19 plus a
Yes.
D4. Uh, 24 damage.
It dies.
I spit on it.
All right. No worries.
Can I examine his body? I'll dismount and check him
You
over.
can.
So does
Yep.
anything of value? I don't want the glaives unless anyone else does.
You find 4 electrum pieces and 9 copper pieces. And you also find a petrified mouse.
As in, it's turned to stone.
Yes.
Stone or not, it's still a mouse. Keep that away from me.
Is there, any,
Nothing else. Yeah.
is there anything interesting about the mouse?
No.
It's no.
Just stone
It looks
mouse.
to. It looks like a mouse, and it looks super realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else
Okay.
around? Looking around. Is there anyone else about to attack us or anything like that?
No. Looks like this guy was out on the hunt.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah, we got places to be.
Yep.
People to eat.
Okay.
Okay. As I say, the trip passes almost uneventfully, but for that little interruption, and a couple of weeks later, you find yourself back in Jassar. It's a long trip, and it costs you a bit to make. So it, in fact, costs you, let's say 20 gold pieces total,
I got it. I'll deduct.
plus deduct, let's say, apart from your meals that you've bought at places along the way, deduct a total of 16 rations from those who are carrying rations.
So it's
You can split.
16 each?
You can split that four each. It's now early winter, and it is, it's pretty cold now. In the days are lucky to get up to 9 degrees. More often than not, the maximum temperature in the day is about 5 degrees, and at night it's getting down into the minuses. It hasn't yet started to snow fully. There's been a couple of snowstorms along the way, but the snow has sort of melted and turned into slush and slurry on the muddy parts of the roads. Bits of it have been icy and dangerous, so you've had to slow the horses down for fear that they will slide on the ice, slip and fall on the ice. You've had to take it easy, and you've had to have fires. When you've had to camp out on the road, it has been unpleasant. So you are very happy to be back in a large place like Jassar. It's apart from Squall's End, which you didn't even get to stop in. It's the largest town / city between Malith and Port Draz.
We get to see Baron Harm on the way, don't we?
Yes. Yep, you do.
Yep.
He's glad to see that you're on your way.
Does he have any updates?
He has no updates.
Cool.
So you've arrived in Jassar. What do you want to do?
We're going to see the steward straight away after we stable our horses.
Yep.
Okay. You do that, and the steward says, "Very good." He looks you up and down and says, "Well, I suppose we'll have to take you as you come. Follow me."
I put on my fine clothes.
You put on your fine clothes.
My fine clothes.
If there's time, if I see Jimmy doing that, I'll be doing that too.
Okay, there is time, and the steward looks relieved.
The other thing we're doing is rehearsing our story.
Ah, jolly good.
Okay, so that all of us are aware of the facts.
How does that rehearsal go? Do you need to
Excellently.
do that?
Well,
All right.
it's the facts as we've written them down, but we have some very high charisma individuals here
that don't appreciate being put on the spot.
And we're going to use the facts as they're written down and our persuasion rolls to get through this. So we know that the Duke was set up, and we know that there was an attempt through the Baron of Harm's, the doppelganger that replaced him, to set up the Duke.
Right.
And we followed. Yep. Okay. We're ready to go.
All right.
Well, we also mentioned the letters that we sent through to because we did send a letter to Jassar last time before we went north. We sent a letter to Jassar explaining that. And we also sent a letter back to Yodlet. What was it? The Duke who died. We sent it to
Unaroth.
Yeah, Unaroth. We sent it to Unaroth's successor, his daughter, as well. So we don't know if they got them, but those letters were sent out as well. So people should know some of the details already. Right?
Yeah.
Did I charge you money for those letters?
I don't remember you charging us money.
I don't remember the letters being sent.
We sent them through Messenger.
Okay. That was lax of me.
When we were at Baron Harm's, we said we were sending those letters.
What one?
I have a vague recollection of that.
I'm happy to retroactively pay it. If
No, that's all right. If I didn't charge you, that's my mistake. So, all right, you are ushered into the audience chamber in Castle Jassar. Duke Jassar sits on a, let's call it a throne. It's not really, it's just a chair, an ornate chair. And unlike other chambers, there's actually a small table in front of him, and arranged in front of him also a number of other chairs upon which sit some people who are wearing quite nice clothes on either side of him, and the steward walks you forward. And this is the first time you've seen Duke Jassar, and he is in late middle age. You would guess he's probably around 50 years old, more like 55 perhaps, but he wears it well. And he's well dressed and well coiffed, and has a short beard. And eventually you find yourself standing in front of him, and he says, well, it's been a month and a half since my steward asked you to investigate Uneroth's death. I've received some letter from you, and Baron Harm has also sent word of his capture, but the king's representative here would not accept these as adequate proof of your findings, and insisted on hearing it directly from you. And so you must make those representations here now, and before you do, she is going to cast Zone of Truth here, so that we all know that you are not lying.
We have no
And
problems with that.
She stands up and does that. So Jassar says, tell us what you have found.
Do you want any particular person to make this, say this, or?
Whoever amongst you wants to tell.
Okay, well, I will start by talking about the 3 individuals. We've got 10 minutes before the spell expires. We'll talk about the 3 half-elves.
That's metagaming in the worst possible way.
What is?
Knowing that, how does Jimmy know that you've got 10 minutes until the spell wears out?
Because Jimmy casts spells, and Jimmy knows what spells work.
Yeah, he doesn't know Zone of Truth, though, does he?
Not yet, but he's got Arcana and he knows this shit. Okay, do you want me to roll the dice?
Roll Arcana.
Okay. 20.
Jimmy knows that the spell has a duration of 10 minutes.
That was way better than just assuming.
That was so good.
So
I wish that
start.
that was the persuasion roll. Okay, we know that there were 3 half-elves. No, what was it? We know, where is my list? I got a list somewhere, because I'm not going to get through this without this list. Was it diary? There we go. There were 3 killers. They gave their names as Gil, Ostmori Solo and Swan Endgar. 2 males, 1 female. They tried to gain the confidence of Baron Harm and failed. They later returned with a changeling or doppelganger who impersonated the Baron and that we later captured, while they kept the Baron prisoner in a cupboard. This is all true. The killers stayed at Baron's castle for a few days before journeying to Duke Yanaroth's castle with a letter from the fake Baron Harm. They stayed at a tavern where they bribed Vosex, the steward of Duke Yanaroth, to get entry to the castle and a copy of the Duke's study key.
Mhm.
There, having gained access to the castle through Vosex, they attacked the Duke in his study, where they killed him. They may have interrogated the Duke, but the Duke was alive long enough to write a coded message in his desk, where he implicated both his steward, Vosex, and said that Baron Harm was in danger. And he died clutching a badge. What was the badge, someone? Something from the fuse?
It was a burning skull medallion.
A burning skull medallion. And we all know what that means, don't we, everyone? What is the burning skull medallion? Anyone? Anyone?
It's the symbol of the fuse, correct?
The symbol of the fuse. Aha, big reveal.
Okay. Is that it?
And we pursued those killers to Melith, where we lost them.
Ah. What did you learn of them in Melith, if anything?
That they went north to Pogarath.
Porrigath. Porrigath.
Porrigath.
Okay.
And that's where the trail went cold there.
Upon being asked to return here.
Yeah, the King's representative looks satisfied and says to Jassar, my lord, I apologise for insisting on this procedure, but I can now return to the king and let him know that Unaroth's murder remains a mystery. We know it would seem who has killed him, but we are yet to find out why. This flaming skull,
of the 3 that we found. Yeah.
Yeah, this flaming skull medallion. This has nothing to do with the fuse. He says this is not a fuse symbol, but we have encountered it elsewhere. There seems to be some new force at large. We know not what it is or what it is seeking to achieve. But this is not the first time we've come across it. Is it the first time you have come across it?
Actually, Barrack wouldn't know this, so Barrack can't say.
I know we did. I'm just trying to find my notes where I remember we discussed this last session.
Out of character, it was left behind by Archivelt after he stole the medallion, after he stole the thing. But Barrack wouldn't know that, so Barrack can't say.
Okay.
After they
Zane
stole
was really
the
bad at memories, but
thing.
like Zane lived this. If it's okay, I would reveal this information. Is that right, Ruben?
Yeah. Make an intelligence check.
Just a flat intelligence check, or like a saving throw, or
Yeah, like a saving throw. Well, yeah. No, just a check. No proficiency bonus.
okay.
Just
I'll
the
just roll a d20 then and add my modifier. That might be easier.
Sure.
Nah, 6.
Oof.
You can say that you remember seeing it somewhere in Poetraz, but you can't remember where.
The details escape me.
Yeah, okay, good.
The details escape me, but this is familiar. We've come across it in Portraz. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't know where I've seen it in Portraz and what implication it has. Apologies.
Yeah, we are seeing it pop up here and there. If you do come across it again, please don't keep that information to yourself. Share it with whoever you can, so that one way or another, all of the world's organisations know that we are intensely interested in this, because it appears to be a phenomenon which is only affecting Metzu. So whoever this is, they have a particular interest in us, it would appear. And with that, the King's representative seeks leave from Jassar to go back to Malith, which is granted, and he goes. And Jassar says to you all, thank you for your efforts on my behalf. I wish to reward you, and motions to the steward and says, fetch 1,000 platinum pieces from the treasury.
Platinum, yum yum.
And says, have 900 experience points each.
Nice.
Nice.
And asks, I wonder if you might be available to assist me with another matter.
We're always at the disposal of the Duke of Jassar.
He says, I'm not sure, I don't know if you've heard, but there have been disruptions in the copper supply from Jiyong for some months now. And we have been worried about what might have been causing it, but the shipments of copper have now entirely ceased, and we haven't heard anything from Jiyong for the last few days. If you have time, it would be helpful to us if you would first travel to Garrick's Ford. Servanar there, I believe, has a gnomish guide who will be able to guide you through a tunnel in the Basson Plateau, which will take you the quick way to Jiyong, and investigate what's going on up there and why it is that we haven't heard from them.
quick conference within the party. Shall we do this?
I mean, seems to be we're being asked once again by people who are higher up than ourselves. Probably wouldn't hurt to have. Probably wouldn't hurt to have them on our side.
No.
Exactly.
What's that, Victoria?
Are we really in a position to say no?
We graciously accept.
Okay, he says, well, I'd encourage you to make haste. Jiang is the mines there, and the metal they produce is very important to the economy of Dershau, so we need this resolved as quickly as possible. Jeff, you're on mute. You're muted, Jeff.
We're heading to Garrick's Ford.
Yes, is that right? Do you leave directly?
Only if no one's got anything to do.
I just want to talk to the steward about all these bits and pieces to do with the artifact that seem to be happening.
Okay.
Just little bits that we've got about the forces of evil gathering to attack and stuff like that. Have we shared those with the steward before? Okay, good. All right, no problems.
So,
Hadn't we? I thought we'd mentioned the shards that my brother was after. Can we? I can't remember now.
I don't know that you've shared that with the steward for Duke Jassar, unless you have a note to the contrary.
No, I wouldn't have noted it down.
Let's share that with the steward.
Okay. While you do that, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. Feel free to keep going. Please don't wait.
I think we're going to finish soon. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go soon.
Oh, you're going to have to go soon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we might have to finish early today. So let's have that conversation first, and then we'll wrap it up for the day.
Okay.
So, what do you want to say?
Let's have a look. Then we had one note to a goblin boss about be more discreet before plans fully implemented, and a second note gained from a hobgoblin about infiltrating the caverns beneath Garrett's Ford to attack when the invasion forces reach the town.
The steward knows about that note, so we gave that to him.
Yes.
He knows definitely about that.
Yes, you've told us of this. We've been We've been trying to figure out what that might be about, but so far we haven't had any luck.
Okay, there we go. That's all I wanted to do.
Zane, Mindatus, and their former colleagues, now deceased, were responsible for clearing out a goblin outpost, which we understand was being held in preparatory to an invasion of some sort, and as was the underground infiltration of Garrick's Ford. It's perhaps the case that in uncovering those toeholds, whatever plans were afoot have been delayed, but we don't know. All we know now is that Ji Young we've lost contact, and we don't know why. We do know the warlord Apoc conquered and now holds a fortress And that fortress is called, well, it was called by the dwarves who used to inhabit it, Karazdur. Karazdur. Karazdur was the dwarven stronghold. The refugees from Karazdur now live under Garrick's Ford, or live in Garrick's Ford, and have done for a number of years since. I mean, some live in Geelong as well, but the large bulk of them moved to Garrick's Ford. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. The only other one thing I do is I want to go to the Spark and get a spell, but I can do that offline with you, can I?
How do you want to get a spell?
I want to get spells from my spell book, and I want to ask the Spark if I can get spells from my spell book. Now that we have a little bit of cash.
Yeah, you might be able to buy scrolls.
That's it.
And then you might spend money copying scrolls into your spell book.
That sounds good.
But we'll have to see if they've got any, because they don't generally just have them lying about. They don't need to, because they've got their own spell books.
Yeah.
So, and
I can copy it from their spell books.
Yeah, we'll see what the price is for that. It won't be cheap. All right. Farewell, guinea pig. Now, I asked whether or not you guys want to move to a fortnightly game for a shorter duration per time. We've played for 4 hours and a bit, which is what I was suggesting might be a shorter duration game played more regularly. How do you all feel about that proposition?
I'm good with that, but it'd have to fall on the fortnight that matches with today, so like 2 weeks from today, for instance.
That's why I proposed fortnightly and not weekly.
Oh, perfect.
I live at home. I am free all the time.
Yeah,
I have no life.
Jeff, do you need to?
I'll talk to Rachel and see what we come up with.
All right, so I would be proposing 11 to 3.
Okay.
11 to 3 every other Saturday. So starting from a fortnight from today.
Okay.
Can fly.
But let us know how you go.
I will.
All righty. Thanks, everybody. I don't think nobody's ready to level. Nobody's ready to level up as a result of those XP today, are they?
Is everyone happy if I hold on to the 1,000 platinum? I'll share it out if you want. I just to keep it in one spot.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy with you holding on to the 1,500 platinum.
I nearly corrected you. Okay, cool.
And yeah, I'll throw this into. I've recorded this session. I'll throw it into an editor and do what I did last time and just put it up as a unlisted video on YouTube, and drop the link into the campaign diary.
Okay.
So anyone at some point, if you ever want to watch it, it'll be there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone. I've got to go.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Thanks.
See you guys.
See you, everyone.